There's a new race to the moon, and it has nothing to do with flags, footprints, or national pride. It's about resources, territory, and who controls the next trillion-dollar economy. That's what we're breaking down today. Welcome to Corridor Intelligence. I'm Joseph Suarez. This is where power, money, and decision making intersect, and where we cut through the noise so you can act before the crowd moves. Let's get into it. So, here's what most people don't understand about the Artemis program and the broader race back to the moon. NASA's program isn't a nostalgia project. It's not about recreating the Apollo moment for a new generation. It's a strategic play. And once you understand the real objectives, everything about the current geopolitical landscape looks very different. The moon has resources. Specifically, it has helium-3, an isotope that could be the key to next-generation fusion energy. It has rare earth elements critical to everything from smartphones to missile guidance systems. And it has water ice at the poles, which doesn't just sustain a lunar base, it can be converted into rocket fuel. Whoever controls the infrastructure to extract and process those resources controls the next frontier of the global economy. Right now, there are two serious players in the race, the United States and China. The US has Artemis, a coalition program with partners including Canada, Europe, Japan, and Australia, all bound by its accords. China has its own lunar program, and they're not signing the accords. They're building a competitive framework with Russia and several other nations. Now, why should you care about this if you're running a business or managing a portfolio? Well, because this isn't a space story. This is an industrial policy story. This is a supply chain story. And this is a defense story. Let me explain. The rare earth supply chain right now is dominated by China. Roughly 60% of rare earth mining and nearly 90% of processing happens in China. That means every electrical vehicle, every wind turbine, every advanced weapon system in the Western world depends on a supply chain controlled by, you guessed it, a strategic competitor. That's not a theoretical risk. That's a live vulnerability. The moon offers an alternative. Not tomorrow, but within a decade or two, lunar mining operations could break that dependency, and the countries and companies that position themselves now at the infrastructure stage are the ones that will own those supply chains when they come online. This is exactly how it worked with oil in the 20th century. The people who got rich weren't the ones who showed up after the wells were flowing. They were the ones who secured the leases, built the pipelines, and established the infrastructure before anyone else understood what was coming. Let's talk about the defense dimension. The moon is the ultimate high ground. Militarily, whoever establishes a permanent presence on the lunar surface has a strategic advantage that is almost impossible to counter. I'm not talking about weapons on the moon. I'm talking about surveillance, communications, and the ability to project power across the entire Earth-Moon system. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 prohibits weapons of mass destruction in space, but it doesn't prohibit military infrastructure, and the line between civilian and military space capability is thinner than most people realize. Every lunar habitat, every communications relay, every resource extraction operation has dual-use potential. The US knows this. China knows this. And that's why both are moving faster than the public discourse would suggest. Now, here's the part that connects directly to your business and to your portfolio. The Artemis program is not just a NASA project. It's a public-private partnership. SpaceX, Blue Origin, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman. These companies are building the hardware. But behind them, there's an entire ecosystem of smaller companies working on lunar construction, resource extraction technology, life support systems, and communications infrastructure. This is an emerging sector, and it's moving from speculative to investable. If you're an entrepreneur, the question is, where does your expertise intersect with the space economy? Because the space economy isn't just rockets and astronauts anymore. It's logistics, construction, mining technology, energy systems, communications, and legal frameworks. If you've built something in any of those sectors, there may be a play here that you haven't even considered. If you're managing a portfolio, the question is, do you have exposure to the companies and sectors that will benefit from sustained government investment in lunar infrastructure? Because this isn't a one-year budget cycle. The Artemis program is a multi-decade commitment. That means sustained contracts, sustained spending, and sustained growth for the companies positioned inside the ecosystem. Here's the bottom line. The moon race is not a science story. It's a power story. It's about resources, supply chains, strategic territory, and who sets the rules for the next frontier of human economic activity. The countries and companies that move now, while most people still think of the moon as a Cold War relic, are the ones that will define the next century of the global economy. And the entrepreneurs and investors who understand that aren't watching from the sidelines. They're positioning. If this kind of analysis helps you think more clearly about what's coming, subscribe to Corridor Intelligence on Subtract. CorridorIntelligence.subtract.com. Every piece is designed to give you the intelligence advantage that used to be reserved for people inside the room. For those who want direct access, deeper analysis, quarterly strategy calls, and a direct line to me, consider becoming a founding member. And if you want a one-on-one conversation about how any of this affects your specific situation, please book 30 minutes at josephsuarez.com. No pitch, no obligation, just clarity. I'm Joseph Suarez. Stay sharp.